So I think that's enough for Tucker Carlson and the speculation surrounding him. We have more to talk about with respect to the firings in the media. We are, of course, referencing Don Lemon. Here is the Fox News coverage on it.
Cheering him on in his future endeavors. Don Lemon also speaking out, writing a statement. Here's part of that. I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. So clearly they see this differently. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to work. I have loved at the network. Kayleigh McEnany.
Yeah, it's quite something. You know, we just, I would just say we saw him take a break briefly for some comments he made, and then here we are.
Here we are. More Outnumbered in a moment.
Hey.
Wow. Incredible commentary. Thank you, guys. Incredible commentary. So, Don Lemon was slated to be let go for some time now. If you recall, I talked about this. I don't know if like Lil Bear can pull it up or some shit. I don't know. If you remember, when he said something about, what's the lady from South Carolina? The Republican woman that's running for Nikki Haley. Don Lemon a month ago basically said Nikki Haley and women in general are not in their prime for, you know, whatever age. Oh, here. Don Lemon regrets saying Nikki Haley is past her prime. On CNN this morning with co-host Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, they were discussing Haley's suggestion a day earlier that politicians over the age of 75 should be subject to mental competency tests. President Joe Biden is 80, while another GOP presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, is 76. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime, sorry, Lemon said, explaining why he was uncomfortable with the age discussion. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s, 30s, maybe her 40s. And Harlow popped off and said prime for what? Which is an insane thing for someone to say. Like, it's an insane thing for someone to say, but it's like perfect for Fox News, but very shocking coming out of CNN. Lemon said that if you look it up on Google, a woman is considered to be in her prime at those ages. Harlow tried to clarify what Lemon was referencing. I think we need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for childbearing? Or are you talking about being prime for president? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what the facts are, Lemon replied. Google it. Which was such a weird thing and such a weird way to like react to that message. Like, it was just a very odd thing that he did. And he went on a little break after that. So since then, there were, leaks here and there about Don Lemon. One of the more memorable ones was like when he was on Hot Mic, caught on Hot Mic shitting on Jon Stewart, realizing that he was caught on Hot Mic and then immediately backing down and being like, oh, I meant like, we love Jon Stewart actually. And you can't really shit on Jon Stewart, honestly, like in liberal circles, like very publicly. Like
this whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's a wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
Yeah, he said it out loud on TV. That was CNN host Don Lemon saying Nikki Haley, who recently announced a run for president, is past her prime, particularly in response to her saying that politicians over the age of 75 should have competency tests. Joining us to discuss news back.
I do love this, though. Like when Fox News is like, yeah, he said that. It's like, bro, what do you think your audience thinks about this? You're literally at Newsmax. Like, do you think your audience fucking thinks that that's like unacceptable to say? Or do you think that they believe that and love that as a matter of fact? Don Lemon like shitting on Jon Stewart. Oh, here it is.
Corruption.
And this is when Jon Stewart was actually doing a pretty decent job absolutely eviscerating the State Department spending. Or Defense Department spending.
Corruption. I'm sorry. He gets a lot of leeway with the comedian thing, though.
This was Hot Mike.
So Stewart questioned why some veterans are facing food insecurity despite the Defense Department's massive budget.
So there was a couple moments like that. Not super big, but I'm not shocked. I think the Nikki Haley thing was like a major blip on the radar. Now, according to the New York Times, this interview that Don Lemon conducted last week with Vivek Ramaswamy played a role in his firing. Note co-host Poppy Harlow sitting silently while Lemon goes after Vivek. So they are probably going, like, it's weird that CNN is going after Don Lemon for this, which seems was actually valid and worthy criticism. I'm gonna go pee real quick, so I'm gonna run this while I do that. This clip of Fox News, or not Fox News, sorry, Fox News on steroids, Newsmax freaking the fuck out over Don Lemon saying the things that he said about Nikki Haley.
Facts contributor Caroline Levitt and deputy managing editor of Red State, Kira Davis. Kira is shaking her head. Old Nikki Haley, 51 years old, past her prime. Don Lemon might be past his prime or his morning show at this point. Your thoughts, Kira?
I cannot even, y'all.
I am with you. My jaw was on the floor.
I know. Is this man serious? Nikki Haley is past her prime. By the way, we have a man in the White House who can't even work his way off stage. He is so old. But Don Lemon, this is very typical of Don Lemon. He is completely narcissistic. He doesn't think ahead. I don't think he thinks much at all. I think he thinks of himself more as an entertainer than a real newsman. And I don't find him entertaining at all. But he deserves to be lambasted for this comment. How gross, disgusting, and misogynistic. He is everything that he accuses the right of being. And frankly, I think a comment like that should cost him his job.
I had to fix that real quick. Anyway, there she is. The most charismatic member of the Piker family, Kaya Piker. What? So is the right anti-cancel culture, selective cancel culture? The right loves cancel culture. Anyway, here is what the New York Times claims is like part of the reason why he was fired, which is insane.
With due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to black Americans, to say that black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on one second. So to say that black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They
That's
were
a
not
fact.
secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
And you know how they got
after the Civil
it?
War
They got their
and
Second Amendment
Reconstruction.
rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don, the
NRA did not play a big role
absolutely,
in
they
that.
trained
That
black Americans
is
how to
a
use
lie.
firearms.
He's
That's
right.
a lie.
Oh,
That's not-
shit.
The NRA did not.
Don Lemon is incorrect. Damn. I mean, you would think that... No. Historically, Don is incorrect. The NRA was literally created by a New York Times journalist specifically to teach liberals in the North, how to better arm themselves against a potential, Confederate movement, another like reemergence of the Confederate movement. That is actually true. For those of you who don't know, I've covered the history of the NRA extensively time and time again. I've talked about this before. Yeah, so that part is actually correct. Now, having said that, the NRA certainly did not defend the Panthers, the Black Panthers. The NRA certainly was very different. Not that long ago, really. I mean, 30 years ago, the NRA itself was just like a hunting club. It was never this behemoth that was trying to actively sell you the as many weapons as possible. So that part is technically correct. Don Lemon is wrong on that, but his pushback is also entirely correct, though, because the NRA, saying that the NRA, like, historically has been a defender of, like, black armed emancipation is idiotic. I mean, look no further than the Mulford Act, right? I mean, in the red state at the time of California with Ronald Reagan as its governor, they quite literally were cutting policy to disarm black people and stop them, and successfully so, stop them from, what do you call it? The NRA was not formed to defend African Americans against the KKK. The NRA was not formed to help. It's not to help black people defend themselves against the Klan, but it was to get effete liberals in the North to learn how to use weapons. Is 100% true. President Biden this month signed passage of the Act creative extension of controversy. NRA was formed to help black people defend themselves against the Democrats' KKK. KKK was created by Confederate veterans, not the Democratic Party. That's true. KKK was a guerrilla terrorist organization. The NRA was formed in New York City. That's true, by a group of former Union Army officers and veterans, including a New York Times writer, by the way, which is weird that they didn't put that in there. They formed the NRA in order to improve marksmanship skills among the New York National Guard in anticipation of future wars. Yeah. Yeah. Don Lemon was right. Lemon, what do you mean? Guys, this is historically accurate, and this is exactly what I said. It has nothing to do with the fucking KKK. It has everything to do with, like, recognizing that a lot of people in the North did not have its own, like, they did not have enough adequate gun training, which is precisely the reason why the NRA was created originally, was to get, yeah, this part is completely false, yes. They never helped or armed freed slaves, but they did actually 100% create the NRA in the North. The NRA was created in the North to train a lot of people in gun ownership and to, like, become better marksmen. That is true, which they are also correctly pointing out in this fact-checking article. It was not created to, like, abolish the KKK or anything like that. It wasn't made to defend black people, which is what Don said. No, it was made to defend against potential reemergence of the Confederacy. The Black Panthers also armed the black community. That part is true, yes. And the NRA did cut legislation against them. So that sentiment is historically inaccurate regardless, saying that the NRA has, like, always been pro-arming black people. The NRA actually used to cut anti-black propaganda, anti-black gun ownership propaganda regularly until Philando Castile's execution in the hands of the state. That was when they decided to hire the likes of Kalayan Noor and numerous other people and realize that that's another market share that they could play a role in, like that black people also buy guns. What is this girl doing? But yeah, there is, like, some truth to what he was saying. I'm trying to be as charitable as possible, but Don Lemon is correct in correcting this fucking demon over here. who is just spitting a bunch of weird right-wing propaganda.
And that thing's turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to
And you know
happen
how they got
after
it?
the war
They got their Second Amendment
Reconstruction.
rights, and they actually got, the NRA played a big role in that. But today, down the
The NRA did not play a big role
absolutely,
in
they
that.
trained
That
black Americans
is
how to
a
use
lie.
firearms.
Yeah, the
That's a
NRA
lie.
did not play a big role.
The NRA did not play a big role in
This
that.
is just historical fact.
It's
but down
not historical fact.
the part that I
Just
find
because you say it's historical
the
fact,
part that
it's
I
not
find
historical
insulting is when you say today black Americans don't have those rights after we have
The
gone
fact
through
that I find
civil rights
insulting
revolution
is
in this
that
country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I
know
have
the
a different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without
shouldn't
me
express your
regarding
views,
you as a
but I think
black
it's
man,
insulting that
but
you're
me
sitting
regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
That you're
That's what I
sitting
think we should
here,
see.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
Whatever ethnicity I am,
about
I'll
what
tell
it's
you-
like to be black in
Whatever
America.
ethnicity I am, I'll tell
sorry.
you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate,
the
but I think
content
you should,
of the
if you're
ideas.
going to do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a
I
fair
think-
way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way. Okay? But we appreciate you coming on.
With
Thank
due
you for that.
respect.
He said, whatever you are, which is pretty funny. Yeah, New York Times saying that this
Yeah, I
is the
look forward
reason
to
why it happened with like her co-host like being uncomfortable in that situation.
that-
Like, fuck her. The irony is that like Don Lemon being legitimately upset at historical inaccuracies about like black emancipation, black liberation movements, or like the NRA's role in this process, when like when this right-wing NRA-backed candidate is like trying to fucking tell him, a black man, what it's like, is ridiculous.
Conversation.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you, Papa.
We'll talk about China.
Yes, let's talk about
next
China.
time.
Yeah, let's find common ground. Let's talk about China, please. Let's find some fucking common ground and talk about how China is bad. Please. You can find what the Indian guy said offensive without pretending he's basically white. Yeah, but his comment about him being whatever you are is kind of racist. Yeah, no, 100%. That is for sure. It's anti-Asian sentiment. This is why I fucking despise liberals though, who will go and be like, dude, that is the most offensive thing. Bitch, if you think that is the most offensive thing in that conversation, did you not hear the Indian American dude fucking literally be like doing white supremacist agitprop to the face of a black person? Yay, good job. Yay. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, oh, she already knows. Yay, good job. He could have utilized the way better, he could have utilized something better there, be like, good girl, yeah. Oh my God, she's a doctor. This dog is literally a dog-ter, dude. She's got a doctorate in peeing in the right place. It's fucking mind-boggling how brilliant she is. Here's what's going on. Let's get back to Don Lemon. More on the Don Lemon exit, which Lemon is calling a termination. Some guests were reluctant to appear on air with Lemon per CNN bookers. Network research found that the audience sentiment on Lemon had dipped following his Nikki Haley controversy. Wow. So it was the Nikki Haley shit. I fucking knew it, dude. I knew that he was on borrowed time when he told a fucking liberal panel that like, a liberal panel that like, you're an old woman and therefore you lost your prime.